everyone, I'm Jacob. I play Tithla. She's a ranger. Tithla's in Barovia because she's tagged along with some friends and somebody needs to look after them.
Hi, I'm Haz, and I'm playing the character of Theodore Satyr, Circle of the Moon Druid, whose main motivation is to find a good revel and turn into a giant angry fey bear to protect his friends, particularly his best bud Tithla.
Hello, I'm Josh, and I shall be playing Killian Maxwell, a elf celestial warlock who has been travelling around Barovia for a little while and has joined up with the Tempest Guild to try and find his place.
G'day, my name's Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Aasimar divination wizard. He is here to find the best and the worst of this world, and he's doing it with a bit of naivety and optimism.
Hello, I am Raph, and I'm playing Styx, who is a Gloomforged Paladin, on the journey of rediscovering themselves, quite literally, in the land of Barovia.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd 5th edition campaign. A warning, gentle viewer. Curse of Strahd is a horror-themed Dungeons & Dragons campaign, which means you may hear adult language or adult themes throughout this episode. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. It is wonderful to see all of you once again for our Curse of Strahd campaign, the premier horror 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign. We are all here. We are excited. We are raring to go because tonight is going to be a lot of fun. In terms of announcements to share before we jump in, I actually don't think I've got anything that fun to share behind the scenes. Just that got a week off next week from work. Going to be really, really lovely. We are still going to have our sessions. I'm doing a bit of a staycation from home, so I will be doing the sessions. We won't be missing any sessions, the Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. All be going ahead. So that should be super, super fun. I'll be hopefully looking super rested, feeling super on top of my game, and enjoying a week off and enjoying some D&D at the same time. I guess the only other fun announcement to share is we are all aware Halloween is imminent, which means there is another Blinsky special coming up in a couple of weeks. We were having a quick chat before we started recording. We were having a bit of a chat to the Twitch group, but this is relevant for the YouTube and podcast team as well. If you were a lovely YouTube member and you had some channel points and you wanted to summon in some particularly funny toys or things for the Blinsky special, you've got ample opportunity to do so. Our YouTube members obviously get lots of points that they can spend on rewards like summoning NPCs, monsters, things like that. If you're watching this on YouTube and listening to this on the podcast, if you become a YouTube member, you can use those points every month to create all sorts of chaos and havoc, and Blinsky is the ultimate special episode to do that in. If you're watching this on Twitch, you already know all the chaos that you can cause with your channel points, and once again, Blinsky is going to be lots and lots of fun. I'm looking forward to this Blinsky Halloween special. I've got something pretty special planned for the team. It's going to be lots and lots of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Should be pretty fun. And there's two things that could kind of happen depending on how the next couple of sessions go. So whichever one we get to do now, I'll save the other one for a future Blinsky. That's pretty much all the fun things I have to share behind the scenes from my end. Anything else fun to share from anyone else before we do our recap and jump into the session?
Just a quick note. Maisie Peterson, Kate's brother, about a whole relationship which she had with Kate's brother. It was really her big breakout song. It didn't actually happen, sort of a fabrication. Just a little fun fact for you. Still, lyrical genius to be able to come up with such a heartfelt song, really pluck at the heartstrings. Well done, Maisie.
What I'm hearing is that song's a lie. Did anyone else get that? Is that what everyone else got from that? Yeah?
It's inspiring.
Probably like Taylor Swift or Adele, go out and get into relationships just so you have fuel for an album. God damn it.
I reckon that's exactly what they're doing. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you for that update, Jacob.
Welcome. Happy to help.
That's a real shame and kind of disappointing.
Go listen to the song. See how you go.
Disappointed. Let's do our
Spotify,
recap.
Maisie Peters.
Thank you, Jacob. Let's jump into the session and let's do our recap. I've done a bit of a shorter recap, just because we were all here last week. We're all here this week. And I wanted to get into the session before too much went. Oh, there is one more thing I'd like to share. We're going to stick around at the end. Twitch people, you don't need to worry about this too much. But for the lovely YouTube people, you will have just seen a brand new introduction because we're all going to stick around at the end for 5 minutes and record our new introductions. I'm happy to do it while we're still live on Twitch if you like. It's probably a bit easier to not do it just because I'm going to blow up the screens and maybe that'll take some of the pressure off the players. So Twitch people, you won't have seen the new intro, but you will get to see it next session. But the YouTube people and lovely people listening on the podcast, you will have heard the new intros, the new recorded intros, perfectly mastered, perfectly balanced, sounding brilliant. Hopefully. So stick around at the end to do that. Perfect. Let's do our recap and let's jump into the session. Our series has been following the adventures of the Tempest Adventuring Guild. Theo, Jonor, Tithla, Styx, and Killian. Having become trapped within the realm of Barovia while searching for some missing adventurers, the team are now preparing to take the fight to Strahd and Sergei. Now on a mission to recruit allies and arm themselves, the party have travelled to the ruined fortress of Arginvostholt. With the fortress once housing a noble order of knights led by a silver dragon, the team were hoping to find some assistance and a fragment of Styx's sunsword within. Instead, the crumbling ruin houses only the dead. Revenants, unable to pass on and seemingly trapped in the memories of their deaths. While navigating the abandoned rooms, the party was surprised to find a fireplace still partially ablaze, the logs made of stone and glass but glowing with an inner fire. From within the fireplace, a small draconic form made of flame emerged, speaking in a crackling, raspy voice and asking the party to restore the light to Arginvostholt. Talking over this strange magic, the party suddenly found themselves no longer alone in this room. A secret door hidden within the stonework pulling back to reveal an injured dusk elf named Savid. It turned out Savid and his travelling companion Maisie had been ambushed by werewolves on the road to Kresk and had fled to the ruins to try and hide. Fearing Savid may be currently cursed with lycanthropy, Jonor used his magic to purify the elf, earning both his trust and assistance. Exploring the remainder of the ground floor, the group stumbled upon a group of 3 of the undead knights patrolling a ruined chapel. While combat seemed inevitable, the group cleverly used the power of Styx's light to abate the aggression of the undead, and with the revenants temporarily calmed, the team learned that the leader of the knights, Vladimir Horngard, still resided above, and that the team should try and speak with him. Ushering the temporarily calmed knights into an unused room and barring the door while they remained passive, the team were now seemingly free to explore the rest of the fortress. Heading to the upper floors, they stumbled upon another corpse, this one dressed in even finer armor, slumped in a throne-like chair overlooking the grounds below. Styx recognized the body as Vladimir Hornsorrow, one of the officers of the Order of the Silver Dragon. With the Revenant awoken, the group tried to enlist his help, but found he was consumed by the same rage afflicting the other undead knights. Just as his fury seemed to be spurring him into attacking the party, another figure rushed into the room, trying to calm down Vladimir with mixed success. It was soon revealed this knight was Sir Godfrey Guilhem, husband of Vladimir, but due to the curse of undeath hanging over them, Vladimir could no longer recognize his love. Finding Godfrey far less affected by the rage and fury consuming the other revenants, the team were able to learn a little more about the fall of the knights, learning that the skull of Arginvost, the silver dragon who once headed this order, is being kept in Castle Ravenloft as a trophy, and that its return to the fortress may be the only way to break the curse upon these knights. The team now have their sights set upon Strahd's home. And not a moment too soon, because an invitation hangs over the party. A dinner, just for them, with Strahd von Zarovich. And that is where we left off last session. We jump straight back in as the 5 of you stand in the ruins of the bedroom that Sir Godfrey Guilhem has escorted you to. The window looking out over the grounds, one of the only glass windows in this place that is still intact, having been carefully reassembled by Sir Godfrey. As you, I think, had just finished talking over your plans, what to do next, knowing that you were headed to the castle, you'd spoken with Sir Godfrey about enlisting his help, maybe him travelling with you. There'd been a little bit of back and forth about whether or not it was safe for him to travel with you if Strahd had his eye on you. The plan kind of being to keep your connection to the knights secret for the time being. It was agreed that when this carriage came to collect you, Godfrey would send one or two of the revenants down to kind of chase you out in a mock performance to try and fool Strahd into thinking that you had been unsuccessful in your mission into the ruins of Arginvost. So we jump straight back in. It's getting into the mid to late afternoon. The cloud cover makes it very hard to spot the movement of the sun, to know what the exact time is, but you can see that the very faint and meager light filtering through this dense cloud layer and through the mists is beginning to turn an almost burnished orange and gold, indicating that the sun is probably starting to set. As you are sort of standing in this room with Godfrey, was there anything else you wanted to speak to Sir Godfrey about? Any other information you wanted from him in regards to the Revenants, in regard to the Knights of the Silver Dragon? Now is a really good time to ask any questions or have any conversations you wanted to have.
Godfrey, you've talked a lot about Strahd, and I understand the history you have there, but he has a brother that deals a bit more in the necromantic, and I can't help but notice the connection between your current state of undeath and his proclivities for unlife.
You watch as Godfrey nods slowly. So you lot are rather perceptive. Yes. I believe that the source of the curse is twofold in nature. I believe the rage and fury that the Revenants feel towards Strahd, that I love Vladimir feels, the rest of my comrades. I believe that is real fury, real rage they feel towards Strahd. But the source of our return and the fact that we remain here, bound to this place, bound to these forms. I would be surprised if Sergei and his necromancy was not involved. Sergei was a powerful wizard, powerful sorcerer. There is not a huge amount that we know of him. Our fight was with Strahd. But at this point, Strahd and his brother Sergei, when the castle, when Arginvost was attacked, they were of one mind. It was the brothers von Zarevich who assaulted these walls. Strahd was their commander, but Sergei, he always was present on the battlefield. Was quite gifted with magic.
Does God just basically wanted to confirm if we help you in not helping Sergei? At the end of the day, we too have beef with both Strahd and him, so if we would not want to harm one to help the other, so to speak.
Yeah, indeed, I understand. I am not sure. I don't see how breaking the rage and fury that my fellow knights feel could in any way help Sergei. But the nature of this magic, the nature of necromancy, my understanding, I mean, I'm not a magic is not unknown to me. I know that creatures raised by necromancy often feel a degree of loyalty, a degree of obedience to those that raised them, to the one that cast the magic to bring them back, especially undead. My mind feels clear. I do not believe I am under any such influence, but I would say that if I was, just as much as if I was not.
My examination of some of your inner thoughts, I think you're in the clear as well.
I believe I am. My mind feels clear. My thoughts are my own, as far as I can tell. It's not that the rage and fury and desire for revenge, the thirst for blood is not present within me. It's just muted. I think my oaths, my duty, my sense of compassion, honor is stronger. And I have not been consumed by it like my fellow knights have. Maybe my magic has protected me. I was our primary source of magic in the castle. My pursuits into the scholarly nature of magic and understanding the flow of the weave is quite unique amongst the knights. I believe I was the only one who was a gifted spellcaster. Perhaps that is what is protecting me.
Perhaps. I am inclined to trust you. I don't think we are in a position to turn away potential allies where they may come.
No, but it is wise that you bring this up, and you should watch me closely if there's any change in my behavior, if I falter or fail in my oaths. Put me down, please.
Oh yes, we'll purge you good, don't worry.
Thank you. I do not want to be a monster.
Alright. That's all Theo wants out of him.
While that conversation is happening between those two, Styx is going to pull out that lump of metal, that pendant that he was given.
Holy symbol. Yeah.
And just kind of start looking it over, seeing if he can make any sense of which part of him it actually was, and just kind of meditating on it a little bit.
Styx, do you want to make me an investigation check with advantage, please?
Yeah, I do. Thank fuck for the advantage.
That's a natural 1 for the first one, which is a total of 5. Thank fuck for the advantage. That's a 13 total. Styx, as you look over this is a rather large, thick hunk of metal. Normally, holy symbols are made of quite light, delicate metals, gold, silver, electrum, even bronze and copper in certain circumstances for poorer people. Jonor.
I was going to say, when he's doing that, if he's spending time examining it, I would also ritual identify with him to assist what is it and what part.
Fantastic. Jonor, this is a magic item. It is a fragment of a magical sword. The Sun Sword. The resonance between it and Styx is very, very strong. Styx, as you examine this metal, there's quite a lot of metal here. You think this could actually have been the crossguard once upon a time. Whether there's any metal missing, you're not 100% sure, but at least most of it seems to be here. This is, as I said, quite a chunky holy symbol. It's quite thick. Whoever made this, it looks like they were trying to preserve as much of the metal as they could from the original design. Maybe someone came across this, sensed the magic within it, and thought, oh, I'll make a holy symbol out of this magic item. Fantastic, problem solved. Could be the case. Like, you can kind of see how that might have happened. But it does look like they tried to preserve as much of the metal as possible. Whether all of it is here, you don't know for sure. Whether this can be reforged, you're going to need a forge that can get very hot. You're going to need a skilled blacksmith. You're probably going to need someone who can channel magic as well. This is a magical item. It is infused with magic. And while it has been broken, to fix this, to put it back to how it was before, is going to take some time. I'm going to say, Styx, 13. You've spent a little bit of time around the Dusk Elf Savid, who you guys kind of left downstairs to watch the door and make sure that no one was kind of breaking in. Savid has shown that he knows a little bit about magic. Could be worth checking in with Savid.
Okay.
If you were planning on kind of hanging around with someone potentially with artificing skills, Savid might not be a bad person to talk to. And again, Styx, 13. You're currently in an enormous castle that housed an order of knights. It would be very weird if there wasn't some sort of at least armory here to repair, to fix weapons that are damaged and fix armor. You think there probably would be an armory or at least a makeshift blacksmith's forge here somewhere.
I wish to be whole.
Can't argue with that. Tithla, Jacob, which one? Who am I speaking to?
Who would you like to speak to?
The person asking the question.
Okay. Tithla, not so much a question.
Okay.
Look, there's a lot of talking going on.
There's a lot of talking going on.
She's a little bored.
Yeah, fair.
You could be making new friends. You love making new friends.
Tithla goes in the corner and starts the ritual cast Detect Poison and Disease because these guys look a little funky. And I'm not sure if she's seen this before. She just wants to check if this is some sort of disease.
Good question. What does your Detect Poison Disease look like? Because a lot of the time your magic has kind of been a little bit more sort of like bushcraft and knowledge.
And that's exactly what it is. She pulls out and it's like a pile of dirt that she's like separating on the ground into its like different sections, and you've got like the main piece of dirt, but then you've got like little chunks of clay in it that aren't meant to be there, symbolic of the disease and poison, and she's slowly having to remove those out and put them over to the side.
And that lets you detect poison and disease?
You know what, Owen? Yeah, it does.
Okay. I have to ask, because like what you're describing, in my mind, like, right, when I was thinking
But
sort of
it's
along the
the
lines
specific dirt.
Okay, sure, why not? Just for context and for contrast, what I was kind of, we've broken has is gone. what I was kind of picturing, right, is maybe Tithla pulls out a little journal that she's recorded diseases and poisons that she's seen. Maybe Tithla takes a moment to kind of review in her mind what are the poisons that she's seen. Maybe Tithla has a
But that's what she's muttering that while she's doing
picking clay out of dirt.
Yeah.
Sure. It's your spell. It's your spell. Tithla takes out a little.
That's not bad. And what do you do with that? I'm like, fuck, you've got to come up with something here.
As Tithla pulls out a little bag of dirt. Do you want a jar of dirt? Bag of dirt? What are we talking?
What's a bag? Tithla doesn't carry jars.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's
I'll
not
keep
be
that in
silly,
mind.
Owen.
I'll keep that in mind. As
Owen.
Tithla pulls out a little bag of dirt, tips it on the ground, and begins picking the
With
clay
some
out.
clay in it.
And then scooping the... And does she just put the clean dirt back in the bag, or does she put the clay back in at the end as well?
Well, it has to go back in case for the next time she wants to cast it. Owen, come on. You fool. You fool.
This is why
Let's
I'm
not be
asking.
silly here, okay?
Because the logic
this
of
is
this...
serious business.
This is... Yeah, so there's a lot of... I'm having to... Yeah, sure. Tithla tips out some dirt, picks some clay out, and then puts the dirt and the clay back in the bag.
Tithla sits in the corner and pulls out a piece of chalk and begins drawing on the ground. It's
Perfect.
some magical... No, that's lame. She gets the fucking dirt.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's lame.
As you finish your 10-minute ritual casting of pick clay out of dirt,
Well,
and
they were
you
doing ritual casting.
Identify clay.
identify clay, remove clay. As you finish your 10-minute casting of remove clay, you look around.
It's DYRT, dirt.
DYRT. It's
magical.
TM. Tithla's DYRT. Tithla's attack on the written word continues once again. As you, Tithla hates the written word. I thought everyone knew that.
But she does take notes.
Yeah.
She's not good at it.
Yeah. As you examine Sir Godfrey, Tithla, and I guess even at this point you've got time during that casting to quickly poke your head out and have a bit of a look around in the next room, the other knights who are kind of standing there with nothing to kind of occupy them, with you guys not in that room in the kitchen area. The other revenants have almost gone back to being corpses again. Two of them are slumped in the chair, their weapons hanging from their hands. They look dead again. There's no sign they were ever animated. But then as you poke your head back in, Tithla, you watch as one of them slowly lifts its head, the fire burning in its eyes once again as they begin to glow this brilliant red-orange. And as it looks towards you, you sort of back into the room, you watch as the head slowly lowers, and then the light fades again. Tithla, this is definitely not a disease. This is definitely necromancy. Powerful necromancy. Could you please roll me an Arcana or Nature check with advantage because of your dirt?
I would love to. Just a reminder, this holds for 10 minutes of being able to look around.
I will keep that in mind.
And you said Arcana check, did you?
Yeah, or Nature, your choice.
Or Nature? Well, I rolled a 13. Can I add my Nature check instead of my Arcana?
Yes, you can.
3 more, so that's an 18.
You got +5 to Nature. Nice, Tithla.
Yeah.
Very
the little
nice.
goblin who lives in the woods, yeah, good at nature. Who just pulled out a bag of dirt to do a spell, yeah, it's kind of her thing.
Your argument's working counter to what you were just saying there. That last example doesn't really back up what you're saying. But yeah, as Tithla, as you examine these figures, very, very powerful necromancy. This had to have been. I'm gonna give you a bit more. 18's quite a lot. Tithla, there's no disease, there's no poison affecting these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
But you also don't think these are normal revenants. Your knowledge of revenants with your nature check is that when an undead, when a person is killed in a horrific way, in an unjust way, to the point where their soul refuses to move on to whatever afterlife is promised to them, when they are so full of rage, burning with the very injustice of their death, that is when a revenant is born. When hatred is so strong, it breaks down the very nature of death itself and allows a revenant to come back. Revenants have 1 year to kill their target. They think of nothing else but tracking down and murdering, ending whoever or whatever ended them. For this entire castle and everyone in it to have been brought back as a revenant and for them not to have moved on is very strange. It is impossible under the normal rules of revenants as you know them. Now, whether there's some influence from Barovia itself, you know that souls in Barovia do not move on to the afterlife. They are consumed by the mists and stay there. Whether that is what is allowing these revenants to hang on indefinitely, or whether these revenants were brought back with magic, powerful necromancy, you're not 100% sure. But those are definitely the two options here for allowing these revenants to be here. The fact that Godfrey is seemingly somewhat unaffected is very strange as well, and almost works a little bit counter to the natural revenant theory. Because his rage should have been all-consuming enough to bring him back. And what, suddenly when he's back, his rage just cools down? That doesn't seem right to you, Tithla. That is what you get from your detect poison and disease. No poison and disease, but a little bit of a chance to understand a bit more about potentially the necromancy powering these things.
Hey, you guys are weird. Tithla mutters to herself.
That's not incorrect.
Thank you.
While moving the clay out of the dirt.
Yeah. It's like Tithla goes and plays in the sand pit for a bit, and then like the dirt pit.
Is that not the most on-brand thing for Tithla, though?
It's pretty on brand, actually. Yeah, I'm with you for that. It's pretty on brand. Unless there's anything else anyone would want to do or ask during this time, I would say it's at this point as Tithla finishes up her casting of Clay Picker. You hear the sound of hoofbeats coming from outside the window. Thank you. That is fantastic immersion there, right there, Jacob.
I've been practicing my Aasimar skills.
Thank you. It's very good to hear. I'll be enlisting you as no, let's not even pretend for a second.
Oh no,
Amazing. Sorry, headphone users, if you were leaning in ready for some gentle ASMR and you just got to... Yeah, Josh, poor Josh.
I moved away a little.
Not enough. The sound of, the sound of hoofbeats echoes down the cobblestones from outside the front gates of Arginvostholt. Quiet at first, and then louder and louder, until you can hear the rumble of a carriage as well, the wheels jostling over the cobblestones, the uneven surface, this echo occasionally coming through of wood bumping up against stone. You hear the nicker, whinny of a horse out the front. As it goes silent once again. Styx, Jonor, Killian, Theo, you guys are right near the window. You could just look out. You're in Sir Godfrey's room. You could just look out the window. There's a black carriage. 2 horses pulling it. The horses are pure bone white. Standing there, occasionally stomping. You watch as one of them sort of chomps at the bit in its mouth a little bit, shakes its head. Its almost luminescent white mane spilling backwards and forwards. And the black carriage simply stands there, unmoving for the time being. A figure sits up on top of the carriage, holding the reins, dressed in a long overcoat with a flat military cap on its head. You cannot see the face from here. But through the ripples of the repaired stained glass window, there's a familiar cast to this figure. For a moment, you feel you almost recognize them as they sit atop the carriage, guiding the horses.
Well, Sir Godfrey, this is it. perhaps you could get those revenants ready and chase us out. We'll look scared. We get in the carriage. Away we go. Hopefully we'll be back here in a couple of nights with Argenvost's skull, and everyone is a happy little revenant.
Can I interrupt with a technical question?
Yeah.
With a above the world question.
Yeah.
My memory was that it was going to be 2 nights, and it's been 1 night. Is that the case?
You were told not a
Or-
specific time and date. You were told in the next couple of nights you would be collected,
Cool.
not a specific. So
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Great.
so
Thank you.
Tithla probably would have interpreted that as like the later end of that. Probably not wanting to go and have dinner with Strahd. Probably giving like, oh yeah, 4 nights away, 3 nights away. But whatever the maximum is, that's what it is. Unfortunately,
No,
you have
all good.
been a carriage has come to collect you. It seems. You would all recognize this carriage, I would add. Actually, Killian, you don't yet. Jonor, Theo, and Tithla, you've seen this carriage before. This carriage, when you first arrived in Barovia, this carriage came to meet you in the ruins of the Durst Manor, the sections that came through the portal. And you remember a certain butler,
Rahadin.
Exactly, Rahadin, who came
I was reading
to,
it just before when I was looking for Rill.
Yes, who came to welcome you to these lands when you first arrived here.
There's a dusk elf
He is a Dusk Elf as well,
Oh,
same as Savid.
dressed as Vistani.
Yeah,
He
That's
said
very true.
if we paid him 100 gold pieces, he would take us out.
That was a Vistani who offered that, not the butler Rahadin. You're now getting your notes confused, Jacob.
No, they're in one row.
That's bad, but that's also not true. That
Oh, there was the Vistani again who wanted us to steal from the...
Yes, it was. That was the
That's
same
all the
Vistani.
same. I said Tithla's not very good at notes.
That checks out. Yeah, you see this figure sitting atop the carriage. Styx, you were going to say something, sorry.
I require a forge before we leave.
A forge.
So is that before we leave? The carriage is waiting.
I know, but I must be whole.
I mean, you seem pretty whole to me. You'll have holes in you.
Styx is just holding the lump of metal that is likely his crossguard.
Do we even know how to fix this?
With magic and fire.
You watch
Unfortunately, Jonor is magic, but he cannot make fire, so...
You watch as Sir Godfrey looks at you, Styx looks down at your symbol, nods for a second, and then holds up his hand. You watch as flames, blue, begin to dance around his fingers. I can still use my magic. Death has not severed my connection to the weave, and Solus, I do feel for you. It was I who gave this symbol to Vladimir to try and awaken him. I found it after we had launched an attack against Castle Ravenloft. I brought it back with me, thinking it would be a gift to help reawaken Vladimir's mind. Alas, it did not work. I had no idea it was part of you, Solus, but if you would like to remain, I would do everything I can to help you. Yes, we have a forge here. I am not sure what condition it is in. It has been some time since I checked in on it, but our blacksmith, Derek, will still be there.
Styx is kind of just like nervously moving, shuffling from one foot to the other, almost like a nervous little kid just holding this thing, uncertain of quite what to do. He seems quite stuck, torn.
Solus, I do not believe it would be wise if you were to head into Castle Ravenloft. You are the Sun Sword, or what is left of it. Strahd cannot know that you are around, that you are potentially recoverable.
Why?
Because he would break you, my friend, like he has broken all of us. Break you in a way that you cannot be repaired from.
But I must protect my friends.
Indeed. I cannot deny that. If that is your oath that you must follow, if that is where your honor lies, then I cannot stand in the way. But I do think it would be unwise to allow you to head within the walls of Castle Ravenloft, where Strahd holds dominion. We risk a lot if we lose you, my friend.
Can he use me against these people?
I know not. Perhaps. He is a master manipulator.
I will not be wielded by another again. Help me.
Of course.
I mean, your
Solus.
facial expression doesn't say it, but I can hear it in your voice. And Jonor gives Styx a big, big warm hug, the best he can muster.
Styx is gonna give it back. He doesn't really know quite what to do with that, but he's... Yeah.
Killian comes in round the other side to give another hug.
What do I do? I must be whole.
Well, we can head to the fort. I'm sure I don't think the carriage will leave without us, provided it's not going to take several days to reforge you. We have some time, but I mean, if what the Godfrey says is true, we shouldn't take you to Castle Ravenloft. I mean, I don't. I'm sure we can all leave you
also said we shouldn't go to Castle Ravenloft. So, which bit of advice are we going to listen to?
I think if you head to Castle Ravenloft, no matter what promises Strahd has made, you are in danger, grave danger, if you head there.
Yeah, see, graves. They're on the menu.
I think it would be best if I stay. I cannot eat dinner anyway.
It's a good point, actually. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah. Consider that.
You can if you want. You don't have to. We're friends. We'll look after you.
Just
you look after us.
Yeah.
I will not be used to cut down any more friends.
See, that seems fair.
I think Strahd knows of your existence, Styx, but maybe Strahd doesn't know what you are exactly. So keeping you in our back pocket, as it were, would be more beneficial for us, and keeping you safe as well. Like Godfrey said, taking you to Castle Ravenloft is almost like a death sentence for you, whereas it might not be necessarily for us.
I get a little bit of my hair standing up on the back of my neck whenever we say his name. We've been said like 4 times already this session. I mean, since we've got into this room. So,
I'm pretty sure we said it a bunch last session as well.
Then I will stay, and I will become stronger, and I will help from that way.
Okay, if that's what you want to do, then we cannot force you to come with us, but we will be back for you, I promise.
You were promised as part of the dinner invite you would be returned to the location at which you were collected. Unharmed, unchanged. That was part of the promise.
But as established, his promises don't mean a whole lot.
Well, Godfrey doesn't think so, for sure.
With understandable cause, it would seem.
To be fair, as well, you got to remember, looking through Godfrey's eyes, the brother Zarevich came, destroyed everything he loves. The person he loves most in this world no longer recognizes him because he's so corrupted and twisted by hatred for Strahd. Godfrey's not necessarily 100% objective in this, not gonna lie. That's the thing though, none of the characters you meet are objective. Everything you get, all the information you get is always from a filter of the character who's telling you the information. So you've always got to take a little bit of what they're saying and kind of think, what's this person's interests? What do they want us to think?
I mean, yeah, but at the end of the day, Strahd did come into his house, betray his trust, kill all of his friends, and make it so that his...
Certainly that's how Godfrey sees it. Yeah, for sure. That's how Godfrey sees it. There might be more to that story, though.
Probably not.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
probably not.
Seems like
There
a pretty
might be.
one world.
Might.
Probably. Ostensibly. Who knows? I know. What would you guys like to do?
Alright, well, if you're not coming, Styx, then that is fine. I feel a little bit underprotected, but
I am sorry for that, but I do not want to be the cause of any more injuries.
I assume there's a narrative reason. You go to the forge then, and we will be chased out of here by some revenants, and we'll see you back hopefully tomorrow.
I will get some of the revenants in the next room to chase you out and look the part. Scary and horrific. I will
And then
escort.
maybe we'll see you next session after this, just as we.
Next day
Do some
was-
damage, but don't actually hurt us. I think we need
No, the revenants will not hurt you. I will command them to look and act the part, but pull up short of actually dealing any damage, unless you think a minor bit of damage could be useful to sell this.
just a little bit of damage. Maybe one sword swipe to the back of Killian, just so he knows what a sword to the back feels like.
That feels rather
Jonor
pointed.
chuckles.
I deserve that, don't worry.
It would be pointed. It's a sword.
Is that a fair point?
Or
And
yeah,
that comment completely threw me off what I wanted to say.
Sorry. But if someone has to take damage, it's not going to me. Jonor can't take a sword. I will take a sword myself before I let Tithla take one, so it leaves you as the sword takey.
in that
That's
case,
fine.
then, Solus, I will accompany you down to the forge. We'll see if we can find Uruk and see what we can do about reforging your cross guard, you said?
All right. Styx is going to go around one by one and hug everyone.
There's this thing in my land. I don't know if you have it in Nostea. It's called a cuddle puddle, and it's basically where everybody just
No.
forms into one big pile of huggingness. So let's just bring it in, everybody.
Nostea calls that a Satyr's huddle.
No, that's a different thing associated with puddles, though.
Yeah, Satyr calls it. It's called a Satyr's huddle in Nostea. But it sounds very similar.
Tithla puts her arms up and starts walking in.
No one reciprocates silence.
I pick Tithla up and make sure to point her fingers in a different direction, and then pull in for the hug. Mainly because of what she said in the last session about
She
where
wraps
her
her arms
fingers go.
around you and tussles your hair.
Strokes your face. You can see there's bits of clay
I remember
dirt
what she was saying. now.
encrusted on her fingernails. Oh yeah, Josh.
Yeah, it's not clay.
Tithla, you keep mentioning this session thing. How long does a session normally last?
No, I just heard it before. Like, I don't know. Anywhere between like a week, sometimes maybe 20 minutes. I think it's more of an amorphous dystopian sort of view on the world. I only heard it for the first time just a second ago from Jonor.
No, I think you.
We're having this conversation while that close to each other while hugging.
Well, shall we?
Breadstick.
Revenants, let's go. Hug.
Go
Does
for you.
anyone else want to get in on the Satyr puddle?
Yes, that's
Puddle.
good. Puddle.
Styx is in.
Okay.
Jonor? Theo?
Yeah, right.
Group hug.
Just for reference, it is a slightly offensive thing to be doing for the state. It's kind of a Satyr only thing, but we can share this.
Can we? Okay. Well, let's go. We should
It
all
is
go
now
into the
canonical that
Nordic
only
one.
Satyrs can group hug, and if anyone else does it, it's now. It's a little bit insensitive. Okay, there you go.
Jonor feels a slight, sharp thing go into his back. Sorry, that's just a piece of my armor.
Am I stabbing you in the back, Jonor, or am I just happy to see you? Amazing. As you finish up your what did you call it, Josh?
A cuddle puddle. I've
Thank
probably
you.
got that wrong, but
group hug as you finish
I
up.
want to Google Cuddle Puddle, but I don't want to.
Save search on for that one. As you finish your group
Straight
hug.
to incognito.
Yeah, as you finish your group hug, and then split up. So Godfrey leads you, Styx, away down the stairs. As he moves back into the main room where you just were, he points to two of the revenants. You two, chase this lot out of the castle just this once. Act as if they are intruders, but cause them no significant harm. Do not chase them to the point where you would catch them. Simply appear as if you were trying to chase them off the grounds. Act as if you would if there was an intruder. You watch as the revenants sort of pause for a moment and then pull out swords and begin running towards you. If none of you guys move, they kind of stop right in front of you and then wait for you to start moving.
Just before we run, if somebody called Sen comes here, please keep them protected.
I didn't.
I will do my best. As Styx, as you head off with Godfrey, we will check back in with you later, Styx. Jonor, Tithla, Theo, and Killian. As you all sprint downstairs, the revenants hot on your heels.
There is a Wikipedia page. Cuddle Party is safe.
Okay. As the four of you begin rushing down the stairs, the two revenants hot on your heels, you get down to the main entryway. You can hear the revenants banging on the door from behind. You watch as Savid looks up and goes, "Are you lot okay?" And then as you run past with the two revenants on your heels, he squeals and ducks into the chapel, hiding from view. So the revenants don't go after him. No context, nothing, just gone. Cool. As you
I want to send him a message, Theo.
Don't die. I'm sorry for before. Good luck with Maisie. The revenants probably won't kill you now.
That's all the information he needs. As you burst out through the front doors, Grinner.
Can we all do performance checks for how well we're going
Yes, please.
with the screaming?
Yeah, I'm going
Yes,
to
please.
loudly run out. Oh no, the revenants are coming! Oh, we didn't get anything we wanted from an Argyn Roshold. Who could have foreseen this? Oh.
That's a 4 from Tithla.
Oh no, I'm being chased! I'm so scared!
That's an 11 from Jonor.
I'll cover this for the team.
Natural 1. Come on, natural 1.
Then you do it all
14.
As part of the whole
Perception.
wanting
Oh, sorry.
to,
They're the same roll.
yeah, as part of the whole, I'm going to take damage from like an attack to make it look real. I'm going to stop and try and fight them. It's like choreographed, but not choreographed fight. It's like
Could you make
Is
me
there
a...
a big gap between your sword and their sword?
We're about to find out with his performance check.
It's like how the wrestlers do it. So instead of our swords clashing, I just bash the sword on the shield. Ting.
Nice.
Start the ground.
Wait, are you saying
no,
wrestling's
that's almost
fake?
natural 20.
12, Killian. I mean, look, you do your best, but you are kind of still running away. And there's a part of you that, I mean, you know this is a performance, but there's a part of you as two undead revenants rush towards you, swords raised, slack-jawed, fire burning in their eyes. There is a part of you that kind of panics in that moment. And as you sort of go to, like, do a stab, you just sort of batter their swords a bit and then go, nope, and then turn and run as one of them goes, and swings down with a sword against your back. You take 2 points of slashing damage as it nicks the back of your arm. The revenants have taken their instructions very seriously from Sir Godfrey. As the sword nicks the back of your arm, the four of you sprint out through the front doors, the revenants hot on your heels. They take 3 steps out of the castle and then stop in place as if frozen. And you watch as they stand there, one of them reaching in and pulling out a bow and testing an arrow on the string, but not firing, as they pause and watch you running away. As the 4 of you run towards the carriage, Grinner, you've come here. It's been a fairly easy ride on the back of the carriage. The 2 horses that you've been wrangling are very, very well behaved and follow your instructions very, very closely. Your time in the military has taught you how to handle horses and cart. You have no issues managing probably the fanciest carriage you've ever had to drive. The most beautiful, elegant horses you've ever had to drive. But the journey's been uneventful. And you are looking forward to seeing your friends again. It has been some time since you last saw them. There's a lot to catch up on. As you watch 4 of your friends burst through the front doors of this ruined hold, you know that the undead linger here. Revenants, evil creatures, necromantic, disgusting abominations brought back as corpses to haunt this broken, shattered castle, a stain upon the landscape. And as your friends rush forwards, you watch as one of them gets a cut on Killian's arm, a narrow miss. Could I get you to roll me a perception check, Grinner, with disadvantage, please? Or insight, your choice, perception or insight. Disadvantage on both. Perception it is, 16. Natural 20.
We'll take the 16.
Grinner, we'll take the 16. Tithla is not scared of these revenants at all. She's running.
She's very loud.
But she's not really scared of them. You've travelled with Tithla. You know how Tithla thinks. She's not scared of these revenants. Equally, Jonor... I mean, Jonor's doing a better job of looking a bit more scared. You think Jonor is genuinely... Like, there's a little part of him that is concerned these things are going to get him. But, again, he's not running for his life. You know what that looks like. You know what the fear in the eyes of a soldier looks like. And none of your companions are really showing that to any degree. Theo's pretty close. But they're not really scared.
How far off are they? They've got a ways
60
to
feet.
jog over to them.
You know that if you get any closer to this place, the carriage will come under attack, and you have... I mean, these horses are beautiful. It would be a crime to allow anything to happen to these 2 horses. The carriage as well, you don't care as much about the carriage. I mean, you've been told to keep the carriage in one piece. Rahadin was very, very specific about not damaging the carriage. But the horses, I think Grinner would kind of be respectful of horses. Horses in a military setting are powerful creatures. A combatant on horseback is a brutally effective soldier on the field of combat. I think Grinner would have... I mean, you tell me, do you think Grinner would have a respect for horses as animals? Out of all the animals that Grinner might be exposed to?
He definitely has a respect for them, but he doesn't like them. Like, he respects them, but he doesn't trust them.
Oh, fair. Okay, cool. In that case, then, yeah. I mean, you know that if the undead were to pour out of this castle and run towards the horses, you would struggle to keep control of them. Who fucking knows what they do? So you're keeping a bit of a distance away from the ruined fortress. I mean, these horses are powerful. These are tall. From hoof to back, we're talking like 7-8 feet tall. These are big fucking horses. Yeah, you've not spent a lot of time with these horses. They've been well behaved so far, but there's a part of you that's like, who knows what these fucking horses will do? They've got minds of their own. And if they get spooked and they go 2 different directions, you're fucked on the back of this carriage.
So yeah, seeing everyone run out and running, I guess, this way, he's probably just going to suck on his teeth for a second watching this, get up and step off and then just open the carriage door very kind of calmly.
Jonor, Tithla, Theo, Killian. The figure that jumps off the back of the carriage is Grinner. He looks much the same as you last saw him. As he jumps down off the carriage, you hear the sound of wind whistling through his teeth, a sound you've heard many, many times before when Grinner is slightly bemused or frustrated, mildly frustrated, shall we say. Like, what would you say? What's that sound for you, Grinner?
Yeah,
it sounded like...
that's pretty much, yeah.
And as Grinner opens the carriage door and looks at you, what would you guys like to do?
All right, you lot.
How tall are these horses? They're like 20 hands.
They are like 20 hands. Yeah, Tithla. I was going to say it in hands, but I was like, I don't think many people know the measurement of horses' hands. Yeah, 19 to 20 hands tall. They're pretty big.
Yeah.
Did you just Google how many hands is a really big horse tall?
Okay, I know these things.
Insight
Normal
check.
horses
Google 'em.
around 15, 17 hands.
That's
Okay?
correct.
I can see you looking at the screen.
I'm looking at you, you idiot. I was looking at the screen with the horse info. I'd be looking over here.
I've got the benefit of Alice being a bit of a horsey girl, so I know this from like her doing horse riding. But yeah, Jacob, you're exactly correct. That is very, very true.
I just had, I know it. My grandparents are horse people, so it was in there
Okay.
somewhere.
So we've just seen Grinner, and he just said, "How you doing, fellas?"
Yeah,
Well, they're so
exactly.
majestic, these horses. Wait, Grinner?
Tithla, I told you. Did I not promise you? When your friends go away, they will always come back to you as long as you're bonded
Tithla
with me.
bursts into tears and runs up and buries her head in Grinner and gives him a big hug.
Look, Theo probably does the same.
All
Tears
right,
as well.
love. All right,
I
Theo.
don't know tears, but I'll launch.
Tithla cries, "Cuddle puddle!"
You've
I
started
don't know
something,
what-
Josh.
Oh,
If this wasn't a thing before, it is a thing now.
Where's the hell have you been? We had all sorts of theories, from rehab to just wandering the
That
earth
was never an option.
to finally getting sick of Tithla throwing fruit at you. Where were you?
Wait, what?
Well, I thought we needed a bit more help than we were getting up where we were, so I went and I found some.
Where? So did we. We found lots of help so far. But when did you find help? Did you go to the Mad Mage? Did you convince him?
No, well, you know me, lads, and Tithla, sorry, love. I do tend to get a little bit punching above my weight, should you say. I've been having a few chats with Strahd about where things are at, and I think he's got to help us with Sergei.
You went to Strahd, the guy that's been our primary antagonist on this quest so far. The one who broke Tithla's heart by pretending to be our friend and then disappearing. The guy who...
That was Demo and he's coming back, okay?
Out of all the examples you could have picked to be like, this guy's evil, you went for like, he wasn't there when Tithla
most
wanted
evil.
to see him
Has
next.
beat me to the
Yeah, I
table
mean, he didn't
example, okay?
almost kill me
Where
in
would we
one
go?
bite.
I was getting to that in my next sentence before this all blew up.
It's the order you've chosen that I find hilarious. The priority in
He
Theo's
finished the
mind.
biggest punch. And he almost killed Killian. What do you mean?
What?
You saw him drain him dry. Like, why would you go to talk to this monster? What?
And the Demo thing.
Well,
And
look,
the most thing was
it's the lesser of two evils, though, right? Like these two bastards that we've got to choose one side or the other, and I'd rather pick something that we know a bit more about. Like I didn't make it a secret. There's something about him. There's more humanity in him than his brother.
Grenade,
Right.
that makes a lot of sense what you're saying. But you just see, we've got the information now, so why don't we explain it to you, and then we can.
Yeah, all right. Well, how about you tell me, and then we'll see.
does Grinner look? Can I do a perception roll or something to see if Grinner looks any?
Perception, investigation, your choice. Anyone who wants to do that, you can do insight if you want to kind of assess his behavior. Whatever you want to do.
While
Feel free
that's
to roll.
happening, Tithla goes, and then there were the Ravens, and they
Nope,
have helped us. so
nope.
What?
No, I rolled shit. Don't even worry. Go, pile
They
on.
told us so much information.
What ravens? What are you talking about?
There's
Like,
something-
it's gone, please. No, faster and better and stop talking. I can't. It looks fine
So-
to me.
The reason I'm laughing is because Theo rolled a 9 for his perception. Theo, no, it's the same old Grinner. Same old Grinner. Interestingly, the big tear on the back of his coat, it's been repaired quite nicely. And he's looking healthy. He's looking good. And what's more, Theo, you reckon he might have actually chilled out on the drinking a little bit. His hands are steady. That sort of
With
bloodshot
that,
look.
Tithla says, "Are you okay?"
Rehab theory. Come.
You think he's probably given up on the alcohol. It's all going well.
Well, I laid right off the ciggies, and the booze followed along with that too.
I don't know you anymore.
Oh, I'm proud of you for kicking those vices. I mean, as long as you will still have the occasional revel with your friends, that's all we could ask. You were taking it to.
Oh, He still has his hip flask inside his coat pocket. You can see the hip flask in his coat pocket. Like clearly, Grinner's not given up alcohol. He's just chilled out.
The old battery son.
I'm going.
All right, you're pulling our leg, Grinner. You're always pulling these tricks on me and our travels beforehand. Have you done this to me before? Back in our original land. You're a good one, mate. Well played. You had me going.
No, in all seriousness, right? Like, there's something to be said about divide and conquer, right? That's something you learn in the military, and if we can, get Strahd fighting his brother, if we can find a way to pit those two properly against each other, maybe we've got a shot, right?
So what, we use Strahd to take out Sergei, then we take out Strahd ourselves?
Well, I mean, I haven't thought that far ahead. Come on, lads. But we could do something like that.
That was literally like one step ahead as the first step. What do you mean you've not thought that far ahead?
Well, I mean...
2 steps is his plan.
Yeah, I mean, look, stepping is not something that I do too well. We know that. But if we can somehow at least get him fighting, surely that's going to be good, right?
I just would have thought you would have had slightly more forethought before you just ran off to Castle Ravenloft without telling us in the dead of night. Well, you found him in the middle of a whole bunch of stuff.
Wait, is that where you went?
Well, no, look, it's not quite as simple as that, right? Because I went up the hill and I had a chat with Strahd and he made a few good points. I hadn't planned on just fucking off. That wasn't my intention, but he invited me back to his place and he said, right, let me show you around and I'll show you how things actually are. And he did. And honestly, he makes a few good points. And I think if we could utilise that against Sergei, we might be in with a fucking chance here, lads. And Tithla, sorry, love.
Can I ask one question, please?
Yeah.
So you did leave voluntarily, and is that right?
Yeah, now I'm back.
Oh.
I did tell you to always come back.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on being gone this fucking long, though.
But you did leave without talking to us, and
Did you say you left?
everyone does.
I thought you said you didn't leave intentionally. You weren't planning on leaving, but then you did.
Well, yeah, I didn't plan on leaving when I went up the hill, but then I spoke with him, and he kind of convinced me.
And why were you going up the hill?
Well, I thought I'd have a chat with him. I know that was probably not very bright, but...
And why was he up the hill?
Well, I said his name, didn't I?
So you summoned him.
I've really missed Grinner.
And then he made some persuasive arguments, and he'd already been trying to make arguments to us for a fair while, and I mean, it hadn't seemed that persuasive, but so he said something to you, and...
Well, it's not me. He didn't say, one thing in particular, right? But there's something to that bloke. He's not... I see a lot of myself in him, right? Like, he's done a lot of bad shit.
You could have left a note.
I could have left a note.
You and Damo, you both did it. You both left. You both promised you'd stay.
Yeah, well, I came back, though, didn't I, love?
I mean, so did he. And he left again. Is that what you're going to do?
If we asked you to come with us to not go back to the Castle Ravenloft tonight, if we said we're going somewhere else, would you come with us?
Yeah. But I think we probably do need to go to dinner.
Oh no, I will go. I was just curious if you were still willing to join us as our friend.
Oh, mate, I've known you for how fucking long now?
Like 2.5 weeks.
No, we met when Jonor tried to buy you from your parents. There was that day.
You're right. That was like 3 weeks ago.
I thought that was a bit before, but
we call that the attempted transaction.
One day this will get let go, but not before this campaign's well and truly finished.
Probably for the last time ever, because new rules and everything. With this conversation going on, and with the comments that Grinner has made about, I see a lot more of Strahd in me than all of this sort of stuff, knowing where he's gone, and also the fact that Grinner wasn't with us when we discovered that Sergei was the other power.
Yeah, that's actually true.
I'm going to use Eyes of the Grave.
Killian, as you use your Eyes of the Grave, could you please roll me a spellcasting check?
I can indeed. If he's undead, I know. Where's my spells? Spellcasting. Yeah. Please roll high. That is a 26.
26. Killian. For a moment, as you activate this Warlock ability and look across at Grinner, nothing. No strange effects, no outline of an undead, no glimpse. And then for a moment, as Grinner turns to face you, something slips. You see Grinner's eyes, the irises bright red, his skin deathly pale, and then a moment later it's gone. Your Eyes of the Gravekeeper have never done this before. But for a brief moment, he almost looked as white as a blooded corpse. Just for a moment. And then it faded.
It seems, my friend, that Strahd is in you a lot more than what we believe. You can drop the facade. I can see what you really are. I'm not going to attack you because that would go against...
What?
That would set a precedent. Yeah, that would set a precedent that with Luther, and I don't think that's right. But you can drop whatever facade you are holding. You are not Grinner.
Oh, still me, mate. If I can drop it, I will drop it.
I'll pick up, as soon as Killian says, I pick up Tithla and move us both away.
Grinner, you reach up and touch the amulet that you were given. And as the facade fades, you watch as Grinner's skin pales noticeably. His irises, this blood red, as he stands before you. Otherwise unchanged, but pale skin, blood red irises.
Wouldn't be the first time you welcomed one of us into the party, though, would it? Where is our dear friend Luther?
I put my hand over Tithla's mouth. He is doing important work. You need not know. I think he is a fair bit different to what I see now what he offered you.
It wasn't so much an offer, mate, but I think we could use it to our advantage, that's for sure.
But I doubt you'd ever move against him.
Well, I don't know about that.
I hate that spell so much. It's so good.
Well,
It's just, it was so much better to have Raph play Grinner than for me to ever try and play this character.
as soon as Styx was looking for a forge, you're like, no, it's...
I put it in that way.
Well, I think at that point, Theo's probably just going to sadly go to the back and just get in the carriage. He's gonna have to think about this one, I think. He's gonna actually
You're here early.
I arrived just on time, love.
No, I think you mean you precisely when you meant to. You meant to be here tomorrow.
Well, look, there's no point keeping the facade up then, is there? Right?
Wait, facade?
Yeah, well, look, Strahd turned me, it is true. But that's not to say that the rest of everything that I've said is not true either.
I'm confused by all the negatives.
That's all right, love. What were you saying about crows?
Well, they're delicious.
Tithla said, "Do not mention the ravens. Do not mention the ravens. Do not mention the ravens."
Who doesn't love crows?
Right, we're all going to be late. How about we all pile in? I think it's time Time for a snack.
Tithla covers her neck.
Yeah, we were all in that cuddle puddle type thing. So as we all start climbing back into the carriage, I'll just place my hand on Grinner's shoulder, and I don't know what sort of control Strahd has over you, being the one who sired you. I'm just sorry that you had to go through that alone, and that you felt you had to walk away from the rest of us, and you had to go through that situation on your own. You know that if the rest of us had been there, we would have supported you and just been there for you. We had the conversation before. I'm just sorry that you didn't feel that you could talk to us about it.
Oh, I'm not alone, mate.
Gross.
I hate you so much, you know. It just says out of character.
Grinner's gonna pat him on the shoulder and get up into the driver's seat.
There's space for someone up next to you on the driver's seat, Grinner. And the carriage,
Fuck that shit.
the carriage is pretty cramped with all four of them in there. I mean, if you wanted to invite someone up, you totally could.
Want to ride up front, Tithla? I know you love a breeze, love.
Tithla would instinctively go to hop up there, just like not thinking.
You grab her shoulder. No, Tithla, I need to have a conversation with you inside the carriage. It's very important.
Okay, that's weird.
If there's not enough space, I'll sit up with you.
This is tiny. Real quick, Owen.
Hello.
The illness, prison disease, would that still be up 10 minutes?
Grinner's not diseased or poisoned.
Okay. The horses, more importantly?
More importantly.
Healthy.
Phew. Okay.
It's not a vampire werewolf then.
What's that? Sorry, the horses aren't vampire werewolves.
No, he's not a vampire werewolf because he's got the werewolf liver.
Whatever that effect seems to be, probably doesn't seem to be affecting Grinner anymore. So Killian, are you jumping up on the front seat with Grinner?
Yeah.
Perfect. As Jonor, Theo, and Tithla climb into the carriage, the inside of the carriage is opulent, luxurious even. Beautiful suede seats, covered with a rich red suede. In the very center is a decanter full of a beautiful dark red wine. 4 glasses are arranged around it. The decanter is sitting sort of slightly recessed into a wooden pillar rising up from the base of the carriage. You can see underneath what looks like a block of ice, keeping the wine perfectly temperatured for prime drinking experience. The curtains that cover the windows are thick, but there's a small gap at the very, very front that looks like it could be closed off to protect the occupants from being overheard by whoever was driving the carriage. But that, whatever that section is that would help keep that area closed, is strangely missing. And Grinner, you can clearly hear everything going on behind you. You need to keep a close eye on your guests, make sure they're okay. If they need to contact you and call out to you, it's very easy just to talk through this section here so that they can communicate with you when required, and so you can communicate with them when required as well. It's very easy to hear the conversation of Grinner and Killian at the front of the carriage, just as it is to hear Jonor, Theo, and Tithla inside the carriage. And as you adjust your flat cap, give the horses' reins a bit of a flick just to get their attention, and then click, giving them a little whip with your whip. The horses take off and the carriage begins rolling away from Ginvolstolt. What would you guys like to do?
All right, friend. Like, I know he is our friend, but say
Are you
nothing
saying
of.
this out loud or in telepathy?
Actually, yeah, I have telepathy. Yeah, fuck you.
Why am I reminding you of this? I'm being very generous as a DM.
To everyone but Grinner there. Say nothing of anyone's that we. I'm going to be extra careful, knowing how tricksy Strahd can be. Just say nothing of anyone we have allied with or helped. Say nothing of our plans. Say nothing in front of him that we would not want Strahd to hear. That said, I think
Can you give me some examples so I don't mess it up?
no, not oh. Tithla, you know, anyone that you consider a friend, do not mention their name in front of either him or Strahd.
Tithla, what
But
is
I
a friend?
consider Grinner
But
a
someone
friend.
who would leave you. No, sorry, carry on. Sorry.
Yes, so you can mention Grinner to Grinner, but that is it.
Okay, so I can mention people to themselves, but I can't mention.
Tithla,
Okay, Tithla gets out a notebook and starts trying to write it down, and you can see she just writes down like Grinner and then an arrow and then Grinner and then tick and then Grinner, arrow, Theo, cross. Grinner, arrow.
Okay, we get the hit. We get the idea.
and look, if it might be too late, but there was a Luther ended up as not quite a vampire. Grinner may be too far gone, but perhaps there's a way we can still save him.
If only we had more of that book from the Abbey. There's werewolves, perhaps. Maybe he had some stuff on vampires as well.
The abbot will know. I mean, he's probably our best bet to solve this, but he is still very crazy, and we have not helped him. So,
Are you saying this out loud, or are you saying this in telepathy still?
telepathic wink.
Grinner, it's very quiet in the back. You know Theo can speak telepathically. You're pretty confident.
I don't know if I had that ability. Yeah,
Did you ever speak telepathically to Grinner? Oh, then Grinner, you've got no idea. She's very quiet in the back.
Oh, I had to be cranium rat form to actually do it back when Grinner was
That's
still around.
right. True. Yeah. Apologies. In that case, then Grinner. Yeah, it's very quiet in the back. Even Killian up the front. Killian keeps sort of side eyeing you, and then every time he catches your gaze, looks back to the front, looking a bit unsure.
I'll probably speak up at that point, seeing as it seems everyone's just riding along
Give
in
him
silence.
5 minutes of silence, and then like, yeah.
So, I wasn't lying about what I was saying before.
Can anyone else hear a bunch of plovers?
It's a plover in the background of Raph. It's all good. I just put a noise gate on, problem solved. Sorry, it's technically not a plover. Technically, it's a banded lapwing, but we all call them plovers in Australia.
Last lapwing.
Unimaginable.
And it's gone. And it's back.
That's okay. The noise gate's mostly catching it. Just talk over the top of it. You'll be fine.
So I wasn't lying before with what I was saying. I still think that if we play our cards right, we've got a solid chance of pitting these two against each other. And you know me, lads, and Tithla, sorry, love. We can do this. Like it is me. It's still me.
But if we moved against him, I imagine you'd be sinking some fangs into the back of our neck as soon as your master bid you to. But I know how this spawn of vampires works, and unless he frees you from your bonds, you are a slave.
Do you know that Barovia's been under attack lately?
From?
There's been a bunch of undead. We're pretty sure it's coming from Sergei. They've been...
The realm of Barovia or the town of Barovia?
No, the town. Sorry. Yeah, right. Fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
The town. The town's been under attack.
Wild design choice, but okay.
Should we call it Barrow
And,
Village? Just to avoid confusion. Barrowville.
Baroville.
Barrowville.
Barovia has been under attack by the undead. Well, then perhaps the ruler of the land should go sort that out.
Well, that's the thing, right? We need to pit him against his brother and the brothers who's been sending these undead. We need to put the people somewhere safe. Like they're not. They can't stay in that town.
Or the people with their soft, supple necks ready to bite into.
Well, we can't put them in the fucking castle, can we? That's a stupid idea. We got to put them somewhere safe.
Have you eaten anyone yet?
So I was thinking, are there any other towns?
Theo, it's still Grinner, all right? Give him a chance. Grinner, how have you been? Like, what's it been like the last the last 2-3 days since we've seen you? Like, how have you been
I
feeling?
think it's been about a week since you last saw
A
Grinner.
minute, yeah. We did the whole Druid thing. We did some time with the
I
Abbey.
think it's been about a week.
Yeah, look, thanks, Jonor. I appreciate you asking, mate. Honestly, I'm feeling a lot better now that I've cut back on the drinking and the cigarettes.
We told you to do that so many times.
Yeah, well, I finally listened, I guess, didn't I? I had some time to think about it.
You didn't. You
That
just
and your
laughed.
addiction has probably been replaced with something else.
The main cause of his drinking and smoking was no longer there. Tithla. Sorry.
Drove to drink from having fruit and vegetable thrown at him.
Vegetables aren't good
I'm
for you. They
gonna
only get
cry.
thrown at your face. Sorry, Jake. Sorry.
If killing innocence is what was driving you to drink before, I suspect you'll still have plenty of cause to drink. Just perhaps the killing innocence may lead you to drink something else.
Oh, come on, let's not stab him. Let's not stab him. You know, we go for the weak spot, all right?
Yeah, that's killing.
Give him a chance at least.
Tithla likes to... But Tithla believes in lateral violence. When Jacob gets... he just lashes out at the nearest person.
Theo, you're just determined to have a go at me right now, aren't you? You think I planned this? You think I fucking want this?
Well, that is what I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to work out what you intended to do by going up to that hill and calling him out there to have a discussion as by yourself. As what else could possibly happen? And now you come up to us, well changed, and more than suspiciously aligned with the person we had been previously working against. So, yeah, I am confused as to your general motives, and without so much of a word. And it hurt me, it hurt Jonor, it hurt Killian, it hurt Luther, but it was devastating to Tithla, and well, it. And you expect us to trust you even though you are thralled to at best the second worst person in this entire plane of existence. That's not the fact that, like, sure, your point is true. He might not be as bad as his brother, but he is still the second most evil person in this entire plane of existence, and that is pretty shit.
Yeah, look, I did plan to leave. It's not like I went up that hill with the intention of fucking off from you lot. I got up there, he made some very bloody good points, and he said that he could show me more back at the castle, and he said we had to go now. So we went now. Yeah, look, maybe I shouldn't have called him. Maybe I shouldn't have thought that I could have a chat with him without him wanting to, you know, guide the conversation, I guess. But I saw a lot of myself in him, and if I could help myself, I could help him.
And at what point did you decide to let him turn you into a vampire spawn?
It wasn't quite that simple. He's obviously a lot fucking stronger than I am. I just thought he was going to play nice because he'd played nice with us up until that point for the most part.
So he forcibly turns you into a vampire spawn, and you want us to ally with this creature? Do you see how absolutely insane this sounds?
No.
You're asking us to take an awful leap here.
It's
we trusted, you know, with our lives, but Grinner appears to have tossed his away.
It's more than that. Mine wasn't tossed away. Mine was taken. But if we could pit these two against each other, maybe I've got a fucking chance, right? Like, what if we can find a way? What if they fucking wipe each other out? I'd be free. I'd be free.
It feels like your statement of pitting them against each other is mute because they are already against each other.
Yeah, but they're not actively doing anything about it. They're just two forces who are at a fucking standoff, right? Well, can we can do something about that.
At the cost of what, though?
Yep.
What would that cost this place to have them two go into full-scale war with each other?
I don't see it as anything but inevitable, either in our lifetime or further down the track. These two, it's too big. It's going to come to a head. If we can force it to a head, we have some level of control over that. I don't.
Look, you didn't answer my question before about if you'd eaten so on, and I won't force the issue. What I will ask, and look, you are our friend. We came here together. I intend to leave here together. If you promise me now that you will do as Luther does and only survive off the blood of the incredibly nutritious bat, then yes, I think your plan does have merit. Killian is right. We have to plot this in such a way as to minimize the damage to the people of the realm. But you're right. If we get them to damage each other enough, us and the allies we have collected may be enough to strike. But you also have to understand we cannot tell you anything about what we are planning, because all he would have to do is ask you, and all of our plans would be ruined. So you have to understand, no matter what you say, we will still at some time move against your masters. That we resolved. I did float the idea of perhaps some bargains. I don't know. I think you had perhaps left by this stage, but we agreed that we would not be entering or entertaining any bargain with such a creature. So knows that anything we do would be just to start this war, and we would be the ones intending to finish it.
I'm not going to lie. I am in a difficult position, not by my own making. Well, not fully by my own making.
It sounds almost entirely by your own making, but
I thought we were going to have a little chat, that's all. But look,
this is we're going for a little dinner, but we are under no illusions the danger we are walking into here.
He's told me you will all be safe. I believe that.
When you're saying you see a bit of yourself in him, can you tell us what you've seen so far?
Well, is that because he kind of drank some of you and it was inside?
No, Tithla. Before that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm just wondering.
No. I've done a lot of bad things in my past, some of which we've touched on, a lot of which we haven't. He's done a lot of bad things, and it's driven him into being a monster. It's easy to lean into that. I led into that for years. It's what allowed me to cope and do half the shit that I fucking did. But it comes a point where you got to make that choice to either be the monster or be the man. Being around you lot, I became the man again. But I see a lot of where I was in that creature. He's just had a lot longer to do it for.
And no one there to help him, Grinner.
Well, he has spent several thousand years as the monster, so it's like...
So it's more ingrained. That doesn't mean it can't be cast off. Look at me. I managed it.
You cast off your mortal coil, but like... Do you give your pledge that you will not eat another human?
I won't eat another human.
You've had
humanoid.
You've had such growth when you were alive. You risked becoming a monster to try and save a man that doesn't want to be saved.
You got to understand, when you're in that place, to be saved means to face it. It means to come face to face with it and accept it as part of you. If you're the monster, it's your escape.
I know that all too well. Answer me this, Grinner, and we've been perfectly honest with each other in the past, as has everybody else within this group. How does it feel? Do you feel powerful? Does it burn within you, that power that rises up? Do you feel that you owe Strahd something for the power that he gives you, that you would do anything? Can I start sort of flexing my left hand? The accent's obviously changed. Do you feel that you would do anything to keep that power?
I've been in positions of power before. When you kill entire towns and all of the things that go along with that, that could feel powerful. Putting women and children to the sword, there's no greater power. But it's not good. It's not what I fucking want anymore. I don't think it ever was. But I'm bound to a higher power like I was then, I am now. Either it's my commanding officer or it's an ancient monster.
But you escaped. You left that.
I did.
You were with us.
I'm also not talking about then, I'm talking about now. How does the power that Strahd has given you make you feel?
If you need to throw Raph, I can give you a little bit about what Grinner would feel in this moment. If you got any questions. Grinner, your senses are heightened. You hear and see better than you ever did. Your eyes see through darkness, piercing through the gloom of Barovia like they never have before. You feel strong. You feel fast. You feel hungry. You have not been allowed to feast on human blood yet. Your thirst has had to be quenched by animals for the time being. Strahd has not let you drink human blood at this point. And I would say there would be some reticence from Grinner as well, potentially towards drinking people. So at this point, you have not yet drunk human blood that you know of. But you feel stronger, you feel faster, you feel more powerful, but you feel a hunger. A hunger that is not altogether unknown to you. In the midst of combat, when you feel that thirst for blood, this feels very similar. Much more literal, but not unfamiliar to you.
There's some things that have changed for the better as far as what I'm capable of. But you ever have a dream where you can't run and something's chasing you, and no matter how hard you push and shove and try to run, it's like moving through honey or a fast moving stream. You can't get forward. There's a level of being trapped in this, and a lot of similarities and things that are very familiar to me from my past life. So it's hard one to answer, Killian, mate. It's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. Yes, it comes with a few physical perks. I don't know what you want me to say.
I think Killian was asking, do you feel indebted as a result of the power? Would that be fair to say, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're kind of drawing upon your relationship with your Warlock patron to see the similarities. Yeah. Grinner, you kind of know you kind of do know what he's asking there a little bit. It's up to you whether or not you answer it.
I don't think I don't feel like I owe him anything, if that's what you're getting at.
That's good. How in control are you of your abilities?
Owen?
Oh, you're fully
How
in
in
control.
control?
You can, yeah. I mean, you can your speed, your strength, you've got control over. If you wanted to flex your claws right now, you could easily do that. Super easy.
Wait, claws?
I'm metaphorical.
Okay.
What about your thirst?
You had a deer earlier today. You're feeling good.
It's under wraps.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
It's nothing that I can't control, having spent the length of time that I have with Lufa. I know a few tips and tricks.
It's not the first time you've had a liquid withhold over you as well, Grinner. I would say that it's not an altogether unfamiliar experience. That's the whole thing, right? None of this is that kind of new. It's just different.
The temptation to sort of draw blood from myself to see if he reacts to it is real.
You could do that if you want.
You know
That
you
if you
want
wanted.
to.
I'll do that, yeah. I'll just sort of...
Oh shit, I wouldn't have done that.
Grinner, he watches Killian. He's got a cut on his elbow. He's had a cut on his elbow this whole time. That's been bleeding a little bit. Been blood in the air. He watches Killian makes another cut on his arm. I don't know why he's doing this. Just look as a little bit of red spills out. I mean, you've got a handkerchief if you wanted to hand it to him and help him staunch it, but otherwise, he's just cut himself. Silly Killian.
That entire conversation was Killian with his elbow in his face.
You want my weenus? Yeah. It's just been...
What are you doing, Killian?
Just testing to see how your thirst is. If you become an uncontrollable beast when presented with human blood, or humanoid blood.
Killian. I've always been an uncontrollable beast, mate.
I have to respect that answer.
So what are we going to do about this town then? They are in a spot of bother. I don't want to send them to the castle. I think that's a fucking terrible idea, but they got to go somewhere.
And we've done a fairly good job of fighting creatures before. Like, and you have a town, like an army of there's lots of vampires or vampire spawns, right? You can just fight them, right?
Oh, yeah, but that would mean that Strahd's moving against his brother, and he's not going to fucking do that just yet. We got to try and sort that out.
I mean,
So he wants us to do it.
just clearing out some skeletons isn't moving against his brother.
Grinner,
No,
it's been explained to you that the stalemate is kept. It's a very precarious balance. There are moves that Strahd can make, but he's got to be careful because if he moves too far in one direction and extends himself in one way, he opens himself up in another. And he knows that Sergei will strike. Same for Sergei. Sergei's got to be careful. There's a balance of power here. A bunch of adventurers wandering around, acting chaotically. They can do things. They can upset the balance of power. They're acting independently.
I think, look, while we might be able to do something about it to an extent, it's not like it's going to stop. For some reason, he seems to want to have it in for this town, Barovia, at the moment. I think a better bet would be getting the people to safety rather than trying to take these critters on. Do you guys is there somewhere safe?
Look, either you would know where we would take them, or you're fishing for an answer we do not want to give you.
Well, I've been away for a while. I don't know where you lot have been since.
You have gone anywhere that we would have gone that we would consider safe.
As you know, Vallaki is the only place that we know of.
So either you want us to deliver some people that we do not want in Vallaki to Vallaki, or are you even good?
Oh, yeah, fucking Grinner. Ask me something that Grinner would know.
We just did. We asked you where would we go in this land that is safe, and
Oh, yeah, Vallaki's one place, but, you know, it's just another town. We're going to have the same fucking problem. right? We would have already done that otherwise.
Well,
In fact, refugees have already tried.
Vallaki is the only place there, so we would go.
All right.
So how does that, or we go sort out the...
Theo, I would like a deception check, please, Grinner. You may make an insight check.
I love how Styx nearly came out there when you went, all right.
All right. Yeah, I'll need a deception. That's a 20 for the deception, Grinner.
Did you say perception for me?
Insight, please.
Insight.
Because, I mean...
Oh, no.
You have...
I have my birthday info still.
You have rolled as... You have rolled as Grinner. Oh! Okay.
I have my pre-game inspo.
I'm burning my birthday inspo for it.
Okay, Theo's burning the birthday inspo. Theo, you may roll again. We'll take whichever's higher.
I'm going to burn my birthday inspo as well.
It got worse.
That's a 19 for Theo. It is worse. So we'll stick with the 20. Currently, Grinner has this on 23.
Guidance on the 20. Guidance on the 20.
Guidance!
22. Killian, are you gonna quickly, as they're having this moment of they look at each other, you just reach back through the slit in the cat because it's touch right for guidance.
Yeah.
You reach back through the slit and try and slap Theo's face to deliver this guidance. Theo, roll a d4.
I want to need a 4.
That's a 1.
Oh, no.
Grinner, you know Theo's
Damn it, I'm not hard yet.
Just for reality, I think Tithla would have trying to save and help Grinner.
Yeah.
Would have put a hand through and cast guidance on Grinner.
Grinner, you may roll a d4 to add to this. As you watch as Killian high fives Theo, you feel a bit left out. Tithla, you've not high fived Grinner in a long time. Grinner's hands. I mean, he's only got one hand on the reins at this point. That's a 2. 25. Grinner.
I was going for the high five with Killian. My hand was distracted, so I couldn't go for the usual chippy slap to stop Tithla from doing something stupid.
Grinner, you know Theo's lying. You know he is. Specifically, the fact that, and I would say more than that, you know Theo's very much suspicious of you. He is very, very careful. He probably has somehow warned the rest of the group to avoid sharing things with you. You're going to have to try and get... Somehow you're going to have to try and get Theo away from the others or get one of the others away from Theo if you want to kind of find out this information. I mean, and you know the people are dying. Theo's wasting time here, faffing about, worrying about Strahd, when the people of Barovia every night are dying. And he's keeping somewhere safe to himself. Because of his concern around Strahd. I've got to talk with Grinner's subconscious. This is what Grinner's subconscious is saying to him with that. You know Theo's keeping this information. Your options are get Theo to trust you. You think that's going to be a pretty uphill battle here. You're going to have to do something pretty dramatic to prove that Theo can trust you. Or you're going to have to bypass Theo and talk to one of the others to get this information. And you know time is on the line. Every night, more and more undead are swarming Barrow Village. Barrowville. What did we say? It was
Barrowville.
Barrow Village works too.
Barrow Village is pretty good. Barrowville. We'll go Barrowville. You know that every night more and more undead are swarming Barrowville. It is only a matter of time before the defenses that you have set up, that the Watch have set up, are fully overwhelmed, and that is it. Everyone in that village is gone.
It was a pretty shit town, though.
Sorry. Who is the evil one in this?
That's Has, not Theo.
Yeah, that's Has, not Theo. Yeah, you.
All right, Theo. No, fair enough, mate. If there's nowhere for him, there's nowhere for him.
Vallaki has big, strong walls, and you was there when we set up his mark, and he's got the guards. You remember Captain Amelia? Just very strong guards there. They could hold out just shambling undead indefinitely.
One other thing you know, Grinner, I did forget to mention this. There is a reason why Vallaki is not super suitable. You know that the people of Vallaki generally are quite That's what I'm looking for here. Quite unwelcoming to guests. And you also know that Valaki's been struggling too. Sounds like the rest of the party haven't heard this, but Valaki's had its own share of problems. The werewolf attacks have been getting way worse, to the point where Valaki has closed its gates to anyone not known to them. Because werewolves have infiltrated the town multiple times, and it's pretty dire in Valaki as well.
I'm going to do two things.
Yo.
Firstly, I'm going to take the carriage on a slight detour.
Yes.
To go past Barrowville. Not into, but past it.
It's a very slight detour, very easily done.
And the second thing I'm going to do is, in between important conversations, I'm just going to start kind of rambling and filling everyone in on those details about the attacks, about overpopulation and the lack of food if people are trying to migrate in, and all of those different aspects. And I'm just going to bring it up.
Do you also share the suspicion Strahd has that this is in retaliation to what the party have done with the Druids? You don't know 100% what's happened with the Druids, but Strahd has said that something happened with Sergei's Druids, and this seems to be some sort of retaliation, is his suspicion. He has shared that with you. It's up to you whether or not you share that with the party. That's your information for how you want to keep it.
Probably not yet. I'm gonna if I'm
You
gonna
don't
bring
wanna
that
guilt
up,
them.
it'll be after Barovia.
Yeah.
After Barrowville, I'll bring that up. But yeah, I just want to make that detour and kind of fill them in on that background of how badly everyone's struggling with the fight at the moment as we're trucking along.
And I would tell all, and I need him hearing this subconsciously. Once Jacob comes back.
So you specifically need Tithla to hear this bit, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, to tell them, under no circumstances mention anywhere else that we could take these people. It is, I think it is absolutely paramount. He's pushed this too far, and if he does not know, then Strahd does not know, and I think anything Strahd does not know about where other people could, where is safe in this realm is good for us at this time. I think our Grinner is still there, but I do not trust him enough to endanger anyone else with a gamble on that. Tithla.
This whole time, Tithla keeps going to say something and stopping and going and stopping.
Tap her notes, refer to notes. Grinner? Grinner.
Tithla looks at the tick and then looks at Theo inquisitively.
Tick means trustworthy, Tithla. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. Oh, tick means you can discuss with him. You know what your notes are. They're bad, but you know what they are.
I don't think that's true.
Confused by her notes.
In that case, then, I think where we will wrap up for tonight as the...
I have one more thing, sorry.
Oh, yes. Go.
I just wanted to say, you say that there's this strenuous treaty, or whatever it is, between Sergei and Strahd. If one oversteps the line, it could cause an all-out war. Would this undead invasion of Barrowville not class as an overstepping the line?
There's no proof it's Sergei. And the thing is, right, if it is Sergei... So Grinner, the way you know about this, sorry, just so that you know, the way you know about this is that essentially, if they act directly, it's not even a treaty, it's unspoken. They just know that if they move their power in one area, it leaves them open in another. If this is Sergei behind the undead, where he's moved his power from, Strahd doesn't know where to counter yet, or has been unable to counter as a result. Same as some of the moves Strahd has made, Sergei's not been able to kind of counter. It's not a guaranteed when one of them puts all their effort into one thing or puts a lot of effort into one thing. It's immediately obvious, I can attack them here and I'll be able to take stuff away. If anything, possibly the loss of the Druids means Sergei's attention is now focused rather than diverse. So and again, it's up to you whether or not you share that. You would know that. Grinner would have been told that. But in terms of what Killian's asking, Strahd thinks it's Sergei, but whatever magic Sergei's using, Strahd can't directly counter, and he doesn't know where Sergei is weak right now, except for one location that Strahd cannot attack directly, and that is why they've been invited to dinner. This place has protections specifically against Strahd. Same as Castle Ravenloft has protections specifically against Sergei. No matter what happens, Sergei cannot cross the threshold of Castle Ravenloft, and no matter what happens, Strahd can't cross the threshold of another location.
I was really hoping you were going to let it slip there. I had my pen ready.
A yellowish gold-coloured place of worship.
Who knows?
It's
You.
not,
Yes, it's true. I do. Yeah, and Strahd, whole bunch of other NPCs. Sergei knows. Yeah.
Any that we can ask?
Yeah.
Okay,
You're heading
good,
to one
thank
right
you.
now. Grinner's right there as well. Grinner sounds like Grinner knows.
I'm not allowed to talk to Grinner.
You should probably talk to Strahd then. I think you'd be allowed to talk to Strahd. There's nothing on your paper saying Strahd X.
It's true. Oh, yeah, it's a long trip, a lot of names.
Grinner, you may answer Killian how you wish.
it's not an easy question to answer, mate. This attack, it's only started within the last few days. It's almost as if a retaliation for something. I don't know. Has anything changed in the last few days? Have you lot done anything? I'm not trying to get information there on this. There's just people's lives at stake on this one. If stuff's happening in the background that you're aware of that could be affecting this, I think it's important.
Well, I would imagine there's this weird feeling that everyone says you're not allowed to say Strahd's name and that he can always hear you. So I can't imagine anyone better positioned to, know what's going on.
Grinner, that's a stupid myth. It's a stupid thing the locals say. It's bullshit. It's he's the boogeyman, right? If you say Strahd's name, he can hear you. If you don't look under your bed, he's under there. If you don't throw salt over your shoulder, it's just bullshit, mate. Absolute bullshit.
You know what else they say, Jonor? They say if you say his name 3 times in the mirror, he'll be behind you. It's just
what happened to you on the mountaintop.
I was
about to say that.
You guys don't
That's
know.
exactly-
All you know is that Grinner went up to the mountaintop and met Strahd there. You don't know the details of that. None of your characters know. And Grinner hasn't said what happened.
He just said he called out Strahd.
I went up there, called out to him, and he was there. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That sounds an awful lot like you can hear it when you say his name. An awful lot.
There's a number of ways that could have gone down, and you know that Strahd was already watching you guys. Like, he literally traveled with you under the guise of Damo for a bit.
Allegedly, there's no evidence of that.
No, okay, sure, yeah. There's no evidence of that in Tithla's mind. There's still a possibility Damo, your friend, is still out there.
Probably not though. Demo sucks.
No, the first time was legit. The second time was fake Strahd demo. First time, fully legit person.
Yeah, Strahd impersonated Damo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Killed him.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Wait,
Grinner,
what?
you know that's bullshit. You call out Strahd's name. Yeah, say his name 3 times in the mirror, and he comes out and gets you. Yeah, it's all rubbish. None of it's real.
What?
Yeah, I'm just having a network of vampires and things that can see far in the night and have fantastic hearing. They sound like scouts to me. So
Yeah, but not across the country, Grinner. Jonor's saying things that are true. Vampires do have exceptional hearing, exceptional sight, but not like it's like you can say his name fucking 6 miles away, and he's like, that'd be ridiculous.
He doesn't own this land, mate. Like he controls a fair whack of it, but he's fighting against his brother. This is a constant back and forth. He can't just have his eyes on everyone who could possibly say his name. And how would he even fucking do that? It doesn't make sense.
He has a vested interest in our group, though. So if we were to call his name now, you're saying that he wouldn't come?
Well, no, because we're going to him. What the fuck would he do that for?
Yeah, it'd be pretty silly.
Yeah, that would be silly.
It's at this point, Grinner directs your attention to the.
Wait, we're there
right-hand
already?
side. No. Grinner directs your attention to the right-hand side of the carriage. As you look out, the carriage is just cresting the top of a small hill as it leads towards Castle Ravenloft, having emerged through a dense patch of forest. You're still some distance away from Castle Ravenloft and the village of Baroville. Baroville? Why am I struggling to say Baroville? It's because I want to say Barrow Village every time. Towards the village of Baroville. As you look down upon the village from this elevated position, you can see the outer farmsteads are gone. Blackened, charred scars where once buildings and farmsteads would have stood. A pike wall, palisade of sharpened stakes, and wood surrounding the intersection of the town. Hastily constructed watchtowers emerging from the top of buildings, almost like makeshift chimneys rising high above the town. And a bonfire, visible from this distance at the front gates, burning something. A lot of somethings. And above it, watching over the town, the shadow cast now behind the town, the soft, pale light of the sun setting in the distance, filtering through the clouds, lighting up the village. You see crenellations, turrets of Castle Ravenloft. That is where we're going to wrap up for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Massive thank you to Raph, who has very much been thrown under the bus tonight by having to take over an NPC essentially at this stage and make it a PC again. But only one person can play Grinner as good as Grinner deserves to be played, and that is Raph. I thought it was very important that we get Raph to play Grinner once again for this particular interaction. So thank you for letting me throw you back into Grinner's dusty overcoat and ill-fitting soldier's cap.
Found out about it today.
He got lots of notice and preparation. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We are all going to head off there. We will, for those of you who are watching us on Twitch, we're going to go and raid another friend of the channel who is playing tonight, who we normally raid. I can see Dice Actors are playing. Any of our other favorite friends. I know normally Eldritch Scribe are up, and they are. Let's go raid Eldritch Scribe. Looks like they've just started as well, which is absolutely perfect. We will go and raid them. For those of you watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast, massive thank you. So lovely to have you join us. If you also want to help the party figure out how to save Grinner, you're going to have to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and hit the like button. It's the only way that you can help Grinner at this point, who is looking for a way out of a new type of service. Not quite like military service. Thank you so much, everybody.
Servitude.
Exactly. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again very, very soon. But until then, farewell, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.